What up, world? This your homeboy Wordplay TJ, and I'm back with another video for you. This time around, I'm gonna tell you what Mogul is and how to track all of your royalties. Stay tuned. Alright, so first I want to give you a disclaimer. This video is not sponsored. This is not a advertisement from Mogul or anything like that. They haven't paid me any money. They don't plan to compensate me in any sort of way. I'm just a fan of this tool, and so I want to tell you what it is. So according to Music Business Worldwide, Mogul is a startup company that wants to help artists and labels find and track all of their money for their business. So far, Mogul has helped artists and labels find millions of dollars of disconnected and unidentified royalties. Their founders are Jeff Ponchick and Joy Mason, who have collaborated to build this application called Mogul, where you can find and audit all of your music royalties. I had the fortune of sitting down with Jeff and talking to him for about 40 minutes. And in this discussion, he gave me the mission of Mogul. So take a listen.
My name is Jeff Ponchick, for those who don't know me. I've been in the music tech space for well over a decade. I've started some companies my last company was Repost, which I sold to SoundCloud, and now I'm starting Mogul. And from a mission standpoint, I guess what I learned along the way was, I almost would call the word purpose, more so than mission, in the sense that with my last business, Repost, there was this artist who told me one time that, he was able to quit his job at Starbucks and take music full time because of the platform and the tech that I built and how that, enabled him to, take that leap. The moment that happened, it was like an arrow through the heart, and it stopped being about like trying to build cool music tech or products, or it was about just like following that feeling and trying to do that for as many people, that gratifying feeling that I got when I helped people achieve their goals creatively. With Mogul, it's sort of an extension of that same purpose, right? It's how do you help artists and their teams holistically, and our mission is to understand their business and achieve their financial goals.
So now that you know their mission, the next thing is to understand, how does Mogul work? So let's talk about the problem first. The problem is millions of royalties are going unclaimed by artists and labels all across the world. And this is because either artists and labels don't understand how to collect all of their royalties, or the metadata behind all of these songs is mismatched. The songwriters are mismatched, or the collection agencies don't have a good understanding of where the money needs to go. I talked about this before in my Black Box royalty video, which you can check out at the end of this one. So let's dive into Mogul a little bit more. So you can go to usemogul.com in order to sign up. And these are the 4 different functions that are most important for artists to know. The first one is the sources. The sources are how you connect all of your different distribution and royalty channels together. You want to make sure that you get your distributor on there. You want to get your performing rights organization like BMI or ASCAP. You want to make sure that you get your publishing administrator connected. And then you want to get your neighboring rights connected. Some places like Sound Exchange. Once everything is connected, you will start to see your dashboard grow and grow with all of the data that is presented. One of the next important functions is understanding your revenue. The revenue tab gives you an overview of how your music has done over time. All of your royalties are aggregated and shown on a dashboard where you can decide between the last year, the last 3 years, 5 years, and all of your history. With this tab, I learned that my song Obsessed has done really well within the last 5 years. And this is something that I think is crucial. This is something important that I should know, so I'm not wasting my time promoting songs that aren't generating revenue. And speaking of those songs, the next tab that's important is the catalog. This tab gives you an important breakdown of all of your catalog and how much each ISRC code has generated. If you remember, the ISRC codes are the unique identifiers for each recording, not for each song. So you could have a song that has a explicit version and a clean version, but they have 2 different ISRC codes. Each one of those recordings is going to have different metrics that you need to follow and understand. Trends that you don't see in the revenue tab may show up in the catalog space. For example, I have a song called If I Should Die on one of my albums, and that album is no longer available on streaming services. But I've learned that it's done pretty well, and so I should reconsider putting it back up on Spotify, Pandora, and other places. So if you allow me to backtrack for a second, the revenue tab also helps you understand what DSPs bring you the most value. I learned that Pandora is a place where I generate a lot of revenue, and so that means that my business strategy might need to change. And speaking of business strategies, the audit function is one of those functions that is most important to having this tool. The audit tab is a premium feature that allows you to see what royalties are disconnected from the sound recording. So you may be being paid from the sound recording from your distributor on a regular basis based off of the streams that you earn, but you may not be being paid the royalties that you're owed. And those disconnects are super important. That's what the audit feature allows you to see. I learned that I have nearly 300 unidentified issues with my catalog. That means I have a lot of work to do, and I also have a lot of questions to ask my publishing administrator. So I put a lot of faith in these companies to do the work that I need them to do in the background in order to collect my royalties. But something's not right, something's missing, something's disconnected. And having this information now is very, very important. I mentioned that this is one of the premium features. So this pro feature is available for $20 a month. It's an annual subscription that costs $240 per year. As I was speaking with Jeff, I wanted to learn, how does Mogul help artists? So the first thing I wanted to ask Jeff is, how could someone in the discovery phase of their career start to use Mogul in order to grow as an artist?
Anytime you take the time to open up the spreadsheets and look at the business, there's a good chance you're going to make more money, because you're going to be thinking about the business, right? And it's so common for musicians to kind of just go, oh, I don't want to deal with it, right? I think I should get a manager. I think the manager should deal with it. And I think that's, in my opinion, the wrong approach. But at the end of the day, the thing that's similar is you have to understand what makes the business tick. And you have to understand what's working and what's not working. And you need to experiment and lean into what's working. And the difference between the full-time musician and the trying to make it full-time musician, I would say for the middle, a lot of them treat it like a business. They're running an e-commerce shop, or they're running right? And they're really taking it seriously, and take the time once a week, once a month, whatever it is. We're blocking off an hour and just we're gonna look at the information.
Then I wanted to understand, how could artists that are already making money use Mogul to really up the ante, do it a little bit better? What could they learn to grow in their business?
The concept is, if you put a song on Spotify, there's certain royalties that should flow through, right? And there's certain registrations that need to happen, right? So there is a right way to do it. So what our app does is, let's say you connect your DistroKid account and you connect your BMI or your ASCAP, let's say ASCAP, right? You put the song in Spotify through DistroKid. Technically, there's public performance royalties, which should be coming through ASCAP. What our app does is it pulls in the catalog files, it pulls in the earnings files, or your works files as well. And if it sees any stoppage, right? This is generating revenue on the public performance publisher's share, but it's not generating revenue on the public performance writer's share, we will flag that. We'll put it in the audit section as associated with that rights type and say, we think there's an issue. Now it's on you, the artist, to take all that information and log into your ASCAP and figure it out.
Going further than that, I asked Jeff, how could we get started? How could we use Mogul in order to, really jumpstart? What's the best timing? What's the best opportunity for us to jump in and use this tool?
Anyone can sign up. It's free to sign up, and you absolutely should. Generally, if you are coming in with the opinion that we will help you make more money, you should have a performing rights organization, a publishing administrator, probably a distributor, which you already have, and ideally a neighboring rights source in place, like a sound exchange, if you can figure out how to mail that voided check in. And so if you have all of those set up and some royalties trickling through, I think that's probably like the best time to join. But that being said, we'll work with anyone. Like our vision for this is not closed off. Like if you're an artist who cares about making money and cares about understanding your business, we want to work with you, and the tech is free.
If you're not in a phase where you are ready to use Mogul just yet, and you are just starting out, you are just now distributing your music, you don't understand your royalties, I have a guide down in the description for $1 where you can learn how to collect your publishing royalties within the United States. If you're international, this guide isn't for you, but those that are musicians in the United States, please look down in the description and find that $1 guide available on my website today. So my experience talking with Jeff and my experience using Mogul so far has been incredible. It has been invaluable, and there's a lot of information that I have gathered from using this tool, and I am so appreciative of their hard work, for Jeff, for Joey, for doing the things that they need to do in order to make the lives of artists better. So that's it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section. Be sure to share this video with somebody that might get something out of it. Be sure to like this video, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for your next music advice video. Until next time, it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ. And when I wake up, take me home now. Every day I'm staring at the phone now. Yeah. Okay. 3 months gone, hanging on messages, and only adults know what the method